Good morning, students. Well, in the last class we had discussed a sunny morning with few segments, and today we'll continue from page number 44. Seraphim, Joaquin, Alvarez, Quintero, 1871 to 1938, 1873 to 1944. My dear students, well, a sunny morning. Let's continue today the next segment. Delalara and insulted your cousin. As you know that in the last class, both the lovers, Delalara and Don Gonzalo, had become closer through a pinch of snuff. And now, in what way we come across further conversations. Now Delalara says, and insulted your cousin. Don Gonzalo says, there was a quarrel. Obviously, whenever we find with triangular love stories, I mean, if love happens between two people, or if someone is in love with other people or other guy or a girl, definitely there will be no other consequences, or there will be no other tragic incidents. It may happen or it may occur between both, but if two people or two persons are in love with one girl, definitely there will be a duel. In the same way, both the merchant as well as his cousin, both are in quarrel now. Don Gonzalo says there was a quarrel. Delalara says, and later a duel. There was a duel in the sense fight between two people with a weapon to get a particular result or for a particular cause. My dear students, Don Gonzalo says, yes, at sunrise on the beach and the merchant was badly wounded. My cousin had to conceal himself for a few days and later to fly. His cousin, Don Gonzalo's cousin, in order to tolerate the humiliation as he had with merchant, he just kept it secretly. He did not conceal it. And after a few days he wanted to fly from that place. Delalara says, you seem to know the story well. Laura is asking, you know that story. You need not to find any difference in this. Don Gonzalo says, and so do you. Even, do you know this story completely? Delalara says, I have explained that a friend repeated it to me. I have explained to you already that my friend had repeated it to me. Delalara says, I have explained that a friend repeated it to me. Don Gonzalo, as my cousin did to me. This is Lara. My cousin did to me. I mean, it had happened with my cousin. I mean, who is this My cousin is nothing but here, Don Gonzalo, my dear students. Donna Laura says, why tell him? He doesn't suspect. Why you want to tell him? Even he doesn't want to suspect on anybody. Don Gonzalo says, aside, she's entirely innocent. She doesn't know anything about these things. She's she's completely innocent. Donna Laura says, and was it you, by any chance, who advised your cousin to forget Laura? Donna Laura is asking, was it you who advised your cousin to forget Laura? Why did you give this advice? She asks. She's asking to Don Gonzalo. Don Gonzalo says, why my cousin never forgot her? What has made him? What has made him not to forget? My dear students, Donna Laura says, how do you account then for his conduct? How do you describe? How do you describe his conduct? How can you account? Here, account means describe, my dear students. Don Gonzalo says, I will tell you. The young man took refuge in my house. I'll tell you the story. Don Gonzalo is going to spin the fictitious story or the fictitious incident which had taken place already, which is not true, but still he is proving himself that it is true. The young man took refuge in my house. Refuge in the sense taking shelter. He took shelter, yes, from trouble. Who? A young man. Fearful of the consequences of a duel with a person highly regarded in that locality. He doesn't want to get humiliated, or he doesn't want to show his face to the people, as he was already, yes, troubled by the incident. That is the reason. He just stayed over there, or sojourned over there, or lived for shorter period in that locality. Since he was highly regarded, he had a respect and dignity in his area. That's the reason he didn't want to lose it. From my home, he went to Seville. He went to Seville. And then came to Madrid. He went to Seville. My dear students, as we have already discussed it, Seville, it is also one of the famous cities in Spanish itself. From Seville to Madrid, he went from Seville to Madrid. He journeyed from Seville to Madrid in order to forget his tragic incident where he had duel with merchant earlier. He wrote Laura many letters, some of them in verse. He wrote many letters to Laura as he did not get them as a response, but undoubtedly they were intercepted by her parents. Undoubtedly they were intercepted in the sense they were stopped. They were not at all having any response. See, he did not get any response. That's the reason. For she never answered at all. As her parents stopped, as her parents intercepted to the letters of the young man, he just could not think over it for a longer time, so he left. My dear students, she never answered at all. Gonzalo then, in despair, believing his love lost to him forever, joined the army. The young man, believing that he might not get his lover, so he just joined the army, went to Africa, and there in a trench in the sense a long, narrow ground. My dear students, he fell in a trench, met a glorious death grasping the flag of Spain. So he thought that, or believing that, he would not get his beloved. That is why he just fell into a trench and even had a glorious death by grasping the flag of Spain. And what did he say? Whispering the name of his beloved, Laura. He just whispered the name, oh my beloved Laura, I just lost myself from this world. Fine. My dear students, get it underlined, this conversation from last Don Gonzalo, from last to second Don Gonzalo, I will tell you to till last line, whispering the name of his beloved Laura. Donna Laura says aside, what an atrocious love, what a cruel love you're telling me. It's truly fantastic, you're one expert in telling lies. Obviously, it's unfathomable thing. Nobody can learn such a skill. Truly, it is appreciated by Donna Laura. My dear students, Don Gonzalo says aside, I could not have killed myself more gloriously. Don Gonzalo is saying that I could not have told you much gloriously. I am not telling you with full of victory. Donna Laura says, you must have been prostrated by the calamity. You're rather tired. You're rather not only tired, but at the same time prostrated by the calamity. I mean, you have been bent down by the calamity. I mean, the situation over here, the circumstances are like that for you. Don Gonzalo says, yes, indeed, Senora, ma'am, madam, as if you were my brother, I presume. Positively, Don Gonzalo replies positively, yes, madam, as if you were my brother. I am just expressing my feelings as if he were my brother. I presume, in the sense I assume here, though on the contrary, that Laura in a short time was chasing butterflies in garden. On the contrary, what she was doing? She was just chasing the butterflies in the garden. Indifferent to regret. I just can't regret about it. Why I just can't regret about it? Because whatever she had in her views, she is doing there. Right? Donna Laura says, no sinner, no. Why Donna Laura is responding negatively? Because she doesn't agree with whatever he is saying now. Don Gonzalo says, it's a woman's way. One has to do it. Whatever she has got the feelings right now. Fine. Donna Laura says, even if it were woman's way, if it is woman's way, the silver maiden was not of that disposition. The silver maiden does not get that kind of temper. Her temperament is not in that way as you are expecting now or suspecting now. My friend awaited news for days, months, a year, and no letter came. Even Donna Laura is also spinning her own story of her departing or death, in what way she had the bad consequences with her beloved. She too waited the news for days, months and year. When she did not get any reply from him, what did she do? One afternoon, just at sunset, as the first stars were appearing, she was seen to leave the house. At the sunset, she left her home one afternoon, and quick, there was, after the first stars were appearing, she was seen to leave the house, and with quickening steps went her way toward the beach. Very quickly, she went nearby the beach, The beach where her beloved had risked his life. Her beloved had risked his life. She wrote his name on the sand and then sat down upon a rock. What did she do after going there? She wrote his name on the sand and then sat down upon a rock, her gaze fixed upon the horizon. And as she wrote his beloved's name on a rock, she sat over there, then down upon a rock, and she had a fixed horizon. I mean, believing that she would not get him, but at the same time the waves murmured their eternal threnody. Threnody in the sense song of lamentation. My dear students, a song of lamentation. Lamentation in the sense, my dear students, usually an LSE, we call it as even an LSE. You might have studied earlier or else during your schooling. An LSE is nothing but a serious song which is written on somebody's death. That is an LSE in the history of English literature. We study it. My dear students, the waves murmured their eternal threnody. The waves too expressed their grief over this situation where even she could not control. And waves too witnessed the situation. This is truly great thing that we cannot believe. And slowly crept up to the rock where the maiden sat. And slowly she moved to the rock where the maiden sat. And even she was swept out to the sea finally. I mean, the tide rose with a boom and swept her out to a sea. I mean, she too was disappeared from this visibility of the world. That is the reason we just cannot expect. So as Donna Lara talks about her friend, whereas Don Gonzalo, he talks about his cousin. So both are fictitious in this way. Though they are the real lovers over here, but yet they are not ready to reveal themselves, but they keep it as concealing. I mean, they don't want to tell it. They are the best pretenders, my dear students. They are the best pretenders over here. Don Gonzalo. Before going to Don Gonzalo, my dear students, please get it, underline this conversation. Sixth conversation, page number 45, sixth conversation, Donna Laura, from even if it were woman's way to till, swept her out to sea. Right. Don Gonzalo says, good heavens, Donna Laura, the fishermen of that shore who often tell the story, often that it was a long time before the waves washed away that name written on the sand. Aside, you will not get ahead of me in decorating my own funeral. Donna Lara is saying that often the fisherman tells me such stories. Even she is also not ready to tell the story which is worsened already, but it is not narrated by she herself, but it is narrated by the fisherman now and every then. Whoever visit the beach, you will not get ahead of me in decorating my own funeral. I mean, you just can't go beyond my imagination in decorating the funeral ceremony, I mean final ceremony. This is truly great thing that even when we go to Romeo and Juliet, see the Juliet's immortalization, as she immortalizes with her feelings and emotions rather than Romeo. In the same way, even Donna Lara's feelings and emotions, even her the moment she attends, the moment she expresses with her emotions or inner words, they are unaccountable. They just cannot be described in any of the fashion, in any of the ways. That's what she says, that you will not get ahead of me. I mean, you just can't go beyond me in decorating my own funeral. You just can't attend at my services during funeral ceremony. My dear students, here she wants to be a greater than Don Gonzalo in her love, though she is in love with him, but she is not trying to show it clearly, because in this way Mr. Serafin and Mr. Joachim both are the very much skilled writers in the history of Spanish literature as we come across, and these two people have done a wonderful comic and humoristic point of view that how Donna Lara and Gonzalo are in love between each other, but still they don't want to show it to the readers. Don Gonzalo says, aside, she lies worse than I do. Don Gonzalo accepts it. She lies. I mean, whatever she lies here, one who knows bundle of lies. She tells the lies worse than I mean worse than he himself. I mean, that's the reason we have a saying in word. If you want to hit a word, if you want to hit somebody else, you have to hit directly. Don't beat about the bushes. In the same way, my dear students, here Don Gonzalo says that she is an expert in telling the lies where one cannot imagine. Donna Lara says, poor Lara. Don Gonzalo says, poor Gonzalo. I mean, both are interpreting, both are just expressing their sympathetic feelings at between each other. This is truly disgusting, but still for readers it will be rather perplexing, confusing. But when they try to understand it, when they read the entire conversation, definitely you people will be able to understand. Then, my dear students, let us continue. Donna Lara says, aside, I will not tell him that I married 2 years later. Lara is saying that I will not tell him that. Why should I tell him that I just got married after 2 years? After waiting for 2 years for her love, she got married. This is truly truly truth, but still it is truly worse. Truly lie. Why? Because she herself is fabricating it. She herself has created it. That is the reason we just cannot accept whatever she is telling, but we have to understand it, what she is telling. Alright, my dear students, Don Gonzalo says, aside, in 3 months I ran off to Paris with a ballet dancer. Don Gonzalo is saying that he ran off to Paris with a ballet dancer. Who ran off to Paris with a ballet dancer? Don Gonzalo, he himself, but as his cousin, because he is trying to introduce himself as his cousin. That is the reason. Let us not to get confused here. Instead of that, let us accept Don Gonzalo himself, and he is saying that he ran off to Paris with a ballet dancer, my dear students. Donna Lara says, fate is curious. Here are you and I, complete strangers, met by chance, discussing the romance of old friends of long ago. We have been conversing as if we were old friends. Fate is curious. Donna Lara is saying that fate is curious. So both as if we were known between each other, and we are having this, and we are conversing between each other, but still we don't want to lose it. And now they are confirmed about their characters and their youthful love story and their youthful days. Especially their youthful romantic days, but they don't want to just keep it in secret. Instead, they want to show it through their only characters. Next, my dear students, Don Gonzalo says, yes, it is curious, considering the ill-natured prelude. You know, prelude means prologue. Prelude means prologue. Prologue in the sense, my dear students, before going to write a book, what we do is we will put the prelude. Prelude in the sense, see, it is a short note. Briefly, we write on a particular author and a book that what the book contained. That is what we call prelude. That, and another word, even prologue, and its opposite word is epilogue. My dear students, you should remember this, because in future if you become writer, you should know this, right? Prologue and epilogue. Well, my dear students, next, Don Gonzalo says, yes, it is curious, considering the ill-natured prelude to our conversation. It's not well-natured prelude, it is ill-natured prelude, I mean beginning. William Shakespeare's quote is there, well, beginning is half done. But here, ill-natured prelude to our conversation. I'm not feeling so much happy. I'm not feeling so much joy. Why? Because we have ill-natured prelude over here to our conversation. Right? General Laura says, you scared away the birds. What did you do? You scared away the birds. Don Gonzalo is saying, I was unreasonable perhaps. I was not having any particular idea about it. I did not determine for anything. I did not determine. Why? I was unreasonable. I didn't have any reason. I didn't have any purpose. I didn't have any intention to scare away your birds. I just entered into the Madrid park naturally, and I didn't want to hurt your birds. Fine. General says, yes, that was evident. Evidently it had happened. Sweetly, Danalara is asking to Don Gonzalo, are you coming again tomorrow? This is truly, right, how? The way she is asking to Don Gonzalo, it's fantastic. One just can't able to, yes, feel the feelings of this woman, old lady, Danalara. Fine. Don Gonzalo asks, most certainly, as he replies, most certainly, if it is a sunny morning, what to do? And not only will I not scare away the birds, but I will bring few crumbs. My dear lady, if it is sunny morning, I will not scare away your birds. Instead, I will bring few bread crumbs. Pieces of breads. Danalara says, thank you very much. Because both of them, they have become closer. My dear students, both Don Gonzalo and Danalara have become closer. So much intimate, so much bosom. That's all. Birds are grateful and repay. She continues over here. Birds are grateful and repay attention. As you have changed your mindset now, and once you bring the breadcrumbs, definitely the birds will be grateful to you and they will repay their attention. I wonder where my maid is. Petra, where are you? Signals for her maid. Danalara is calling where her Petra was, where her maid servant was. Don Gonzalo says, aside, looking at Lara, as he is sitting beside her, looking at Lara, whose back is turned, looking at her as she turns her back, and no, I'll not reveal myself. He wants to tell something, he wants to reveal something, but still he insists himself that not to tell himself. I am grotesque now, I am harsh now, my dear students. Grotesque in the sense harsh by nature. Very differently. One who is totally indifferent, grotesque, unacceptable. You just can't imagine everyone's behavior or everyone's character or everyone's attitude in a same way. That's the reason God has blessed us with different, different blessings, but at the same way, at the same time, the same organs, but at the same time we find we just cannot expect all the skills from only one person. Different skills are being, given by the gods. That's all. We cannot be, perfect in all the skills. Some people will be perfect in only few skills and others will be perfect in no skills. We just can't expect that a perfect human being can be found on this earth. That's the reason we human beings will have one or the other skill where we will be perfect and we will be called as experts. I am grotesque now, better that. She recalled the gallant horseman. She recalls her gallant horseman, the brave horseman who passed daily beneath her window tossing flowers. Who used to toss up the flowers beneath her window every day. This is as Gonzalo is saying that, right? Danalara says, here she comes, Don Gonzalo, that Zanito. He plays havoc with the nursemaids. Great confusion. Havoc means great confusion over here, my dear students. And disorder. This word has got different meanings. Havoc in the sense great loss. When it comes to the natural calamities, when we talk about natural calamities like a flood, earthquake and a tsunami, in the same way we use the word havoc. But here we use this word havoc for having a confused state of mind. Who? Janito. What does he do here? He plays havoc with the nursemaids. He plays tricks with the nursemaids. Looks toward right and signals with his hands. He shows, he does signals towards him. Then Janalara aside, beside itself, looking at Gonzalo, whose back is turned. When he does some signals at the same time, he shows his gestures at the same time, she too responds him positively. No, I am too sadly changed. I am not now in joyful mood or jovial mood. I am too sadly changed. It is better he should remember me as the black-eyed girl tossing flowers as he passed among the roses in the garden. He must remember me as a black-eyed girl and passed the roses in the garden. Right. Janita says, enters by right, Petra by left. She has a bunch of violets in her hands. Janito enters by right and Petra by left. But she has a bunch of violets in her hands. My dear students, next page, 47. Danalara says, well Petra, at last. Don Gonzalo says, Janito, you are late. Don Gonzalo is saying to whom? He's saying to, yes, Janito, you're very much late. Petra says to Danalara, the guard gave me these violets for you, Senora. Petra is saying the guard gave me these violets, flowers to you. Danalara says, how very nice. thank him for me. Say him, thank. Right, they are fragrant. I mean, they are very much smelling. They are fragrant. As she takes the violets from her, made a few loose ones fall to the ground. As she collects the bunch of violets from Petra, some of them were fallen down on the ground. Don Gonzalo expresses his feelings now. My dear lady, this has been a great honor and a great pleasure. My dear lady, this has been a great honor and pleasure, as you are just giving me as you are just dropping the flowers on the ground. I am truly excited. General Lara says, it has also been a pleasure to me. So both are expressing their sense of gratitude between, yes, both. Fine, my dear students, get it underlined from 6th conversation, page number 47. General Lara to till 12th conversation. General Lara, this bench is at your disposal. My dear students, one more important thing you should remember at this point of time is, if you could underline few important lines from this one act play, particularly a sunny morning, will be more helpful for you, because most of the reported speech questions were asked from this lesson only. Most probably I might have told it in the previous videos also in the same lesson. General Lara says, it has also been a pleasure to me. Don Gonzalo says, good bye-bye. Until tomorrow. She too waves, he too waves, and she too waves her hands. General Lara, until tomorrow. Don Gonzalo says, if it is sunny, Don Gonzalo says, bye-bye, take care, till tomorrow. Tomorrow we will meet again. Even General Lara too says that until tomorrow. Don Gonzalo again, he asks her, if it is sunny, what to do? How can we meet together here in the same park? General Lara says, a sunny morning, will you go to your bench? A sunny morning, will you go to your bench? Since the atmosphere will be so much sultry, but still we enjoy the same atmosphere or in the same weather. We may not get any difficulty at all. And at the same time, right, she asks him, yes, will you go to your bench tomorrow in a sunny morning? Don Gonzalo says, no, I'll come to this itself if you do not object. I'll come to your bench only if you do not object and if you do not deny me. Alright. General Lara says, this bench is at your disposal. This bench is at your authority. Disposal means your authority, my dear students. You should know this. In what way Serafin and Joaquin Alvarez Quintero brothers have used some vocabulary, right, or lexicons. Disposal in the sense authority. Why she uses this bench is at your disposal. Once they became closer, she says that once you occupied my bench, it's your authority. You can come to the park, and or else whenever you can come to the park, you can sit beside me. I don't have any objection for you in this regard. My dear students, next, Don Gonzalo, I will surely bring the crumbs. He's saying that I will definitely bring the bread crumbs tomorrow. In my next visit. Fine. General Lara says, tomorrow. Tomorrow will you bring it? Tomorrow. Then fine. Don Gonzalo says, tomorrow. Very much exclamatory. With full of exclamation, he's asking General Lara as they are totally excited towards their next meet in the Madrid park. Don Gonzalo says, tomorrow Laura walks away toward right. Laura is walking toward right, supported by her maid. Gonzalo, before leaving with Janito, trembling and with a great effort, stoops to pick up the violets Laura dropped. As Laura walking toward right, she is dropping the violets, and Gonzalo is also following her and responding, picking up the violets from the ground. Just then, Laura turns her head and surprises him, picking up the flowers. Even Laura too gets surprised as he started to pick up the violets as she dropped on the ground. This is truly great love. This is truly true love. I mean, truthful love, which cannot be mortal one, which will be immortal one, according to Serafin and Joaquin Alvarez Quintero brothers. But still, they are not ready to reveal, they are not ready to express or exhibit that they are the true lovers of their youthful days. Janito says, what are you doing, Senor? What are you doing, sir? Don Gonzalo says, Janito, wait for some time, I'll let you know. Don says, beside, yes, it is he. He in the sense who? Don Gonzalo. My dear students, Don Gonzalo. Aside, it is she and no mistake. It is she and no mistake in the sense both of them, they are replying between each other, or they are replying to the both. Why? Because now they got to know what are their status in this one act play, and finally they have to tell that they were nobody else, they were nothing but only his cousin and her friend. They were nothing but only Don Gonzalo and Donna Laura. Fine, my dear students. Don Gonzalo says aside, it is she and no mistake. She in the sense Donna Laura itself. It is he in the sense Don Gonzalo itself, my dear students. So don't get confused over here. Donna Laura and Don Gonzalo wave farewell. They wave farewell. They bid each other before they leave the Madrid park. Donna Laura says, can't it be that this is he? She asks, yes, can it be this? Can it be that? This is he. Yes, absolutely. It is only Don Gonzalo itself. Next, Don Gonzalo says that, heavens, is it she? He too is being accepted that, yes, is it she in the sense here, Donna Laura itself. They smile once more as if she were again at the window and we belong in the rose garden, and then disappear upon the arms of their servants. They smile each other, and once again they accept themselves that they were the true lovers in their youthful days. Yes, they smile each other, and it shows us how Serafin and Joaquin Alvarez Quintero brothers are Quinter. They have shown through their skills that how a Sunday morning, yes, is one act play over here. How it is one act play but at the same time how it served as one act play with humoristic conversations between both the characters called Don Gonzalo and Donna Laura, they being the truthful lovers, but they had never tried to reveal their love. This is great thing that they maintained the secretness in this play. So my dear students, hope you have understood today's video, today's segment in a sunny morning, a one act play, and keep going through the text regularly and continuously. Please work hard regularly, because every day you are going to learn the newer concept, the newer thing, and please keep watching Sri Guru Independent View online classes. Thank you so much.